This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
From what day you may find out, certain people not like me. Everyone crackers bag a thing now. Begs through me, I do it like Nike. But me not fear no guy now. No matter how hard them a spite me, me just a go and do me thing now. Me just a do it like Nike.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by the Bahamas Out Island Promotion Board, Burger King, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, the Cleveland Clinic, Fine Threads, First Caribbean Bank, John's Department Store, Joker's Wild, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, Prince Masters, and Tropical Gyros.
Now me and the dog, them a link up. Big truck, 20-inch trim, just a spin up. The pioneer, just a kicks up. And a hip-hop or calypso. You can't see the star through the tint up. Plus me and the Cuban a link up. Rose gold, so the Cuban link up. How much ice, just a her, and me rings up. From what day you may find out, certain people don't like me. Everyone crackers for that thing now. Begs through me, I do it like Nike. But me not fear no guy now. No matter how hard them a spite me, me just a go and do me thing now. Me just a do it like Nike. Me just a do it like Nike.
You got it locked and loaded to the Monday, June 10th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty and your company right up until 6 p.m. Pearlie will be joining us in the 5 o'clock hour. You know we're going to live to Abaco right out of the break. Going to be talking with Roscoe Thompson and some guests. Get caught up in Abaco, but got a double whammy tsunami today as well because, this been taking a minute, booking conflicts on my end and on his end because, he's always traveling. But I got, Dr. Marvin Smith. He's going to be on today. Better known as the Big Chief. You know him from the 5 o'clock hour, but as you know, he is the president of the Pharmaceutical Association here in the country. And we got lots to talk about in regards to that cannabis bill and the disbursement of medical marijuana, all right? So we'll be touching on that as well. And you got to get used to it now, man, Show is extra hot, so sometimes you're going to have to double whammy tsunami on some of these days you're used to it, Monday and Tuesday as well. Because, the people want to get, the heads want to talk, so it's all good. But like I said, I always appreciate Roscoe chiming in. We'll be touching base with him on the flip side of the break. Phone lines are open, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259 in New Providence. Toll free and anyone in the Family Islands, 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. Text lines powered by BTC 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Stream us live, take us wherever you want to go, GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. Cable channel 969, BTC Flow channel 612. That's how you get it in. That's how you get it on for fresh news, smart talk all day, right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Quick break. Flip side of the break, we'll be right back at you. We're going live to Abaco. When we wrap with Abaco, we'll be talking with Dr. Smith and our other guest, Dr. Laura Pratt-Charlton, all coming up as the Monday, June 10th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Is it a burger?
No. Is it pizza?
Come on, man, it's KFC. Whatever the crunch this is, it's delicious. New, the Kentucky Chizza Sandwich. Crispy chicken topped with marinara sauce, mozzarella, and pepperoni. Order your Chizza Sandwich now at KFCNassau.com or at your favorite KFC restaurant today. It's new and it's radical. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, health-friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Are you tired of the hustle and bustle of city life, yearning for a relaxing getaway without the headaches of international travel? Well, we've got just the thing for you. Escape to paradise without leaving home with our limited time 2-fly free offer for Bahamas residents. Whether you're craving adventure, seeking to reconnect with your roots, or simply yearning to unwind in secluded shores, the Family Islands has something for everyone. But you better act fast, because this incredible 2-fly free offer is only available until June 30th. Don't let this opportunity slip away. So why wait? Book your trip today. Escape the ordinary, discover the extraordinary, and experience the magic of the Family Islands. Visit BahamasResidence.com for more information and start planning your ultimate island getaway today.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back at you on the Monday, June 10th edition of Talking Heads. Let's go live to Abaco. We got Roscoe Thompson chiming in. What's going on, Roscoe?
What's up, Naughty? You all right?
Yeah, man, I'm good, brother. I know you had a busy week last week and back to Abaco, so get us up to snuff. I got a couple of questions right off the text line out of the break.
Go ahead. You. I'm actually still here. I have one more doctor's appointment tomorrow, right. And I'm back in Abaco.
Good. I hope everything.
Yeah. Just to check up on my back.
All right, good stuff. But question off the top of your head, what's the latest situation with the fires in Abaco?
I know when I was here, we had a couple but the rains helped to ease some of it. So let's continue to pray for rain. But this is a time of year that we always have a lot of fires,
So at the moment, though, knock on wood, there are none going, correct?
Well, I can't say that there might be some slowly burning, but there are none that I know of threatening that I've seen as of recent.
All right. What about the oil leak? Because now we've had a couple of...
Boy, I don't know. I'm
hearing other stories now that's a different property. Somebody was digging in the field and he sprung a leak and...
Yeah, I don't know. Naughty, I just wait for environmental
on that one. But as you wait, the oil still leaks, correct?
As far as I know, I have not been there to see if they've taken the tanks out of the ground or what they've done. But we have not heard anything from environmental health. It just seems like mum is a word in this government. Everything is quiet until they release something. It's just really dumbfounding. Even this BPL fiasco that's going on right now. How much of the Bahamians people money have they put into BPL over the past 40 years? And now they're going to go sell it for pittance. Are we going to ever recoup that money that we, put into that fuel surcharge every month they hit us for?
I don't know. And that's another thing. I mean, the cost of living here is crazy. So I can only imagine the cost of living down there.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. It seems like we've turned more into a dictatorship than anything else. Unless it comes out of the prime minister's mouth, nobody else can speak.
So 2 years into this show, with you appearing on Mondays, no proper procurement act functioning down there. The SARS is up in the air.
No, hold on. Fred Mitchell said we don't need no procurement act.
Yeah. Well,
you know, we yeah.
I'm just going down the checklist of
Yeah,
what
I
didn't
know.
happen. Still got the housing situation, correct? Not enough space.
Not enough
room.
housing, correct?
Not enough housing. You got the oil, the diesel leak going on. You still got the debris left from the Shantytown debris.
Still there.
You got the fires. So what can Abaco say after 2 years that's been done right? What you all say?
You know, I saw a post today that they're looking at a new project or a project down in South Abaco, which I know Sandy Point and those areas need a project, but the scale of this project that they're talking about is the casino and 2 golf courses, and says they should start in 2027. But it's funny, I think it's the same guy that keeps on trying to raise money for this. They've changed it from the Valencia group to another group, and now it's this group. And
man, if it's a casino, I can't play in or you can't play in, I'm for that.
No, it's not the fact of that. It's the fact that a lot of
that's the fact that for me, the next one to come here, we need to be able to play in it, all right? Maybe we can't play in the old ones, but the new ones, next one come here, Bahamians should be able to play.
You know that. But, you know, it's the environment down there that will be affected, you know, the nesting grounds for the parrots, you know, things like that. Now, I know that they need some, you know, resort or something down in Sandy Point area, but I don't think they have to go out to Hole in the Wall, you know, and do it out there. But that's just I saw that post today, so it's just funny how they keep on trying to sell you the same old, you know, every year. Hopefully they'll get Pelican Shores Road paved sometime soon. You know, in local government, we're still taking a beating. You know, they're still wanting to remove some key things like town planning and that, and you know,
that was my next question for you.
Yeah.
All right, we got a call. Let's take this call.
Hey, great show, usual Naughty. How you doing?
Hey, thanks, man. What's going on?
You and Roscoe, right? Okay, Roscoe. I like you as a guest, right? But is a but factor to this here, right? I'm sorry to break your heart about this, about Abaco, but it'll take more than one term to fix any problems that Abaco or Grand Bahama has. It's a process. Any government that comes to you and tell you that, okay, we can fix Abaco or Grand Bahama problems, is just can't happen. The government have to tell the people that, because that's what the people actually want to hear. But the truth is that it'll take at least 15 to 20 years for Grand Bahama and Abaco to feel any form of economical and social changes to affect their lives.
I mean, we've seen the change in the businesses now. It's starting to come back. I think, you know, I agree with you to a certain extent in regards to, you know, what we want to hear, or, you know, It's going to take time, which is fine. But there are some things that should have been done. You know, like you don't go ahead and strip a road and then, you know, say, hey, we're doing it in X, Y, and Z. And then a year later, it still hasn't been done.
Okay, but how would you feel if a government come to you guys and just be bluntly honest and tell you, well, okay, we have a 25-year plan.
Maybe if they're honest and they could speak to that plan and show where it might be effective.
Like a 25-year plan.
It might be different than
that. That it can't be done in one term. Because one term is basically 4 to 5 years. You can't do that in 4 to 5 years. That's ridiculous.
Then, and okay, I agree with you. Then I would say this to you is, then why come and make these promises
that you know for well can't get fulfilled in 5 years,
and that you're going to keep this in place? You're going to keep the duty and the VAT, you know, off, so people from you know can help rebuild, and then you change. You say you're not going to increase BPL, but you increase.
And Paul, I can be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I understand your point about having a viable plan, and sometimes when you have to fix areas, it takes more than 5 years. I agree with you there. But it has to be a plan. It has to be planned out. It has to have the data, has to have the research, has to have all of the components.
Yeah, but
it's no excuse now. Hold on. It's no excuse. It's no excuse for a government not doing anything.
Right.
Something should have been done in Abaco and Grand Bahama by this stage. Something. And if you look at both entities, they still got issues. They still got problems.
And I'll say to the caller, I have no issue no matter what government, because any government I don't want to see fail, because if they fail, the Bahamian people fail. So in that regards, but I just, there are some needs over there that need to be addressed. And if you're going to do something, and I'll use a shanty town as an example, it was a great thing. I mean, it was awesome to see them do, but then they just leave the debris. So they did not have a plan for cleaning up. There's things like that's where I question. I'm not worried about what their 5 or 10 year plan is, because it is going to take a while for Abaco and Grand Bahama to get back on their feet in regards to that. But don't come in there and do things and then leave your mess behind without having a plan in what you're doing moving forward.
Okay, but Ross, let me ask you a question. Will the people, the Abaco, accept the fact if the government happened to come to them, right, and say, okay, it'll take us about 25, say reasonably 20 to 25 years to get things done and for you all to feel economical prosperity, right? Will the people actually
feeling the economic prosperity? But we're feeling that from after Dorian. We're the businesses and that are up and back. The resorts are going. It's not that. It's a fact of the day to day, or the government comes and God only knows the last town hall we
Caller, I mean, it's not like you want Abaco to be patient, but be patient for what?
Yeah, I got you.
The squeaky wheel gets the most well.
I hear his, and I agree with him. It's like John Bostwick when he came up with Vision 2020. I have no problem with your plan. I have no problem with your thing, but actions speak louder than words. And when you see a government at a shortfall of $70 million, and then you see a consultancy budget increase rather than decrease, and then I wonder why you can't social services.
But you heard that I was coming on? He told civil society. And then what else?
Anyway, let me get to this text. Naughty with the call, and afternoon, Roscoe and Naughty. What the call is saying is fallacy in what every administration does. We need a second term to start through the 15-year plan for completion of the work. Tell us what gets done in this term, next term, etc. The plan for this term needs to have details and weekly tracking of progress. No caller, unaccepted, nothing the government says at this point. I got to see it to believe it.
Yeah, and the Daphne just joined us, so I know we're short today because you have the other group coming. The other group coming on. So maybe Daphne might want to interject a little. I see that she just popped on.
Daphne, how goes it? She's on mute.
Okay, she's on mute. But no, even though, like he says, I don't have a plan.
Hey, sorry. I didn't realize I was talking to you, and I didn't realize I was still on mute.
There you go.
I didn't hear the conversation up to now, so I'm not quite sure what you guys are talking about. But I'm here. If there's anything you want to throw at me, I'll be happy to try to interject.
Well, we just, to that caller's point, Daphne, can you touch on some of the businesses and how they've bounced back so far post-Dorian down there in Abaco?
Well, one thing I can say I'm really excited and pleased about is the rebuild. There's a lot more rebuild going on. Properties are cleaning up, and Marsh Harbor is looking, much improved. And even the visitors are noticing, the growth and improvement.
Slow progress, but
it's very slow. It's slow progress, but we're progressing, and that's the important thing,
And briefly, we still don't have enough homes and houses to accommodate, workers, correct?
No, we don't. We absolutely have a housing shortage, and that is crippling. That is the main thing that is crippling our, growth and continued development. I really wish some of our, Bahamian contractors, big companies, would come in and, I'm from Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama is condo city. And that's one thing that Abaco does not have. We don't have any small, secure, gated communities that are affordable for young entrepreneurs, young families to get a start, because not everybody can afford to have a home, with a yard and, a big expense. But a shared expense through condo living, in my opinion, is what Abaco needs right now. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom units that people can move into and get a start. Get people out of Nassau, get people, coming in, young professionals to bring new businesses and new services.
All right, let's get to these couple of calls, because I got some other guests today, double duty today. So let me try to get to these calls and see if we can answer these questions, and then we can get to the wrap. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty, how
are you?
Fine, thank you. Hey, Roscoe. Sarah.
Hey, how you doing?
Roscoe, question. The caller before seems to say, I may be wrong, I may get it wrong, but it sounds like he's telling you guys that you're putting too much pressure on the government for action?
Yeah. I guess we put too much pressure on them to deliver on what they promised to do, I guess.
So I don't see that as putting pressure, because if you go into a relationship with somebody and you make a certain type of agreement with them to have certain things done, and you telling them, okay, we're going to do this in this amount of time, and at halfway through the deal, there's still no movement to show you that they're even making an attempt. Because if I'm not mistaken, that's what it seems like Roscoe was saying. Certain things, you start it, and then you just stop, and there's no communication. So in my view, you're not even making an attempt to try and complete or try and do some of what you promised. Am I wrong for suggesting that that's what you're trying to say, Roscoe?
No, and I agree with you. That is basically what I'm getting at. I don't have a problem with them having a plan. It's just a matter of, don't come and say you're doing X, Y, and Z. And I use Pelican Shores Road as an example. That was supposed to have been done from 5 months ago. If you're not going to do it, then say, okay, we have to wait until the next budget year. It won't be until July of 2024. Don't keep promising people this and that. And one, it shows that you're letting them down. And two, that money wasn't in the budget from before. So you know that it has to come out of this budget year. That's all that I'm saying is do things and let people know what's happening. If it's not going to be done when you say, be honest with the people. That's all.
Thank you. And the same for Sarah with Grand Bahama and West End of Bimini, because things were promised and we're not hearing a single thing moving or look like attempting to move in the direction of trying to start something. So I just consider the other persons who will listen to the gentleman who may seem to feel like Abaco, you guys are trying to rush the government into something. So I just want to clarify how I see it. Others may have the same view and don't know how to say. You understand?
Yeah. No, it's not a matter of
understand exactly what you're trying to say. You're not trying to rush the government. You're trying to say, do something, please. Let me see that you are making an attempt on certain things, not the big things, the smaller things.
The big things too, all things that you promised. Anyway, good
things too, yes, but at least if you start small, you will go. You learn how to walk, how to sit before you learn how to crawl.
I get
and
your
then
point.
Walk and then run.
Good.
So you got to start small. So do something. Let's see something being done. This is one of the things I loved about Ingram,
Yeah, but see, I got to get a couple other calls, and we love Ingram too. But anyway, good stuff as always, man. But I got to get to these other calls. I got some other guests today too. So let's make sure I keep the time flowing. Talking Heads. Last call for Roscoe and Daphne. Who's this? Talking Heads. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty. Good afternoon to you, Roscoe and Sarah. Good afternoon to both of you as well.
That's Daphne.
You
got your days mixed up there. That's Daphne. Sarah on tomorrow.
Oh, Daphne. Sorry, my apologies.
It's okay, Charles. By any name.
It's a very interesting conversation. Roscoe and Daphne, here's my question to both of you. Seeing that there is a housing issue in both Grand Bahama and Abaco for, let's say, outside workers to come in. As far as you're concerned with the employment percentages on both of those islands, are the Grand Bahamians and the Abaconians who exist on these islands, are they being fully utilized in this exercise to try and rebuild areas of Grand Bahama and Abaco? And is it heavily dependent upon persons from the outside to come in to do the work when we have persons already there searching for work? If the government would provide the funding to take care of these persons who already have their homes there, who may want to do some serious home improvements, who want to do some serious things with their land, if they would engage these persons with their different skills, perhaps on the interim before the big prime time comes in, a lot of this stuff that we are talking about could be done at a very affordable cost. We are not hearing these conversations. And this is what really disturbs me. Because Grand Bahama, for a long time, the people of Grand Bahama have been screaming for work. And yet, there is hardly no work there. Same thing with Abaco. It has to be rebuilt. Where are they truly utilizing the Bahamian workers, the Bahamian persons who reside on these islands? Are they fully utilizing them in the cleanup and rebuilding exercises that we expect going forward? That's all I wanted to say. Thanks, Norby, for taking my call.
All right, and Jeff, we're keeping your thoughts and our prayers, man, all right?
Hey, and to answer Jeff, I just want to say, yeah, they are to a certain extent, but you also, and like, that's the thing with the portal, you can have a Nassau or Grand Bahama company bid on an job in Abaco, vice versa, which is fine, but you started seeing a lot more companies from Nassau and Freeport and all them coming up, but it's getting a little hoggalicious with certain jobs, especially when it comes to government jobs and things that are being done. But on the flip side, yes, it would be good to see more Bahamians, contractors and that working deals with government. I'll provide X, Y, and Z, and you provide X, Y, and Z. And I thought that's what the DRA was, but the DRA is just a disaster. It's not a recovery assistance program. It's a disaster. Maybe Daphne can say on. I know you got to go, Nordy.
Yeah, because we got guests. Yeah, but real quick, go ahead, Daph.
Listen, all I have to say is this. Every island, if they have qualified persons on that island and they come within reasonable bidding, they should have always first preference. We on our islands know what we need best. We need to be allowed to manage ourselves, and we need to be able to participate 100% in the process of developing our islands. Okay? No other company from any other island should take preference over a local island company if they qualify and they're within reasonable, even if they're a little bit higher, even if they're 10% higher. Because guess what? Somebody coming from another island, they got logistics of housing and everything else, travel, all of that. And they can end up charging us more in the end anyway, because there could be things that they didn't account for. Okay?
Daphne.
Yeah.
Just so would you be able to do next Monday with me and Nordy?
Yes.
All right, but it's booked. I'll see the two of you on next Monday for sure for the full show.
Okay.
All right. You have a good day.
Appreciate you, man. Y'all take care.
Tell Mr. Smith Roscoe Thompson says hi. He'll know who I am.
Yeah, man. Listen, let me ask you this question because I had a text that just chime in, and I'm wondering if it's the Mandela effect or a different part of the metaverse that I'm in. But respectfully, Nordy, your co-host stands to be corrected. John Bostwick did not come up with Vision 2020.
Okay, well,
I'm asking the texter who did, but I remember, to my knowledge,
If I remember correctly, it was John that wrote it. Now, he did go, sit down with a few others, but that was his vision.
Take care. Thanks for keeping us on the air.
You all take care now.
All right. That was John Bostwick, Vision 2020. It was I forget, 300 pages.
But John is a longtime friend. We could always get John on the show and we can discuss that. That's not a problem.
All right, I know you want it, which is a hot topic in, marijuana bill.
Yeah, and we got to talk with a specific component, the distribution of it, especially the medicinal portion. And we're glad to have Dr. Marvin Smith and Dr. Laura Charlton here with us today. So we'll be picking up the conversation with them on the flip side of the break as the Monday, June 10th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Play with Island Games. We making dreams come true. Play with Island Games. We paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market. You getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy and spicy is tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first. Guaranteed to pay Island Games. We like them mother jokers. We've been here from the start. From the bike to computer. Island Games. We gonna make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
Ignite your leadership capabilities, expand your vision, and chart the path to a bright future at the CIBC Caribbean Ignite Leadership Conference, 27th of June at Bahamar from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Join Sarah Kunst, a venerated entrepreneur who has worked at Apple and Red Bull. Sarah is a Forbes 30 Under 30 Future Innovator and has been honored by the Wall Street Journal. Also hear about the leadership journey of Anthony Ferguson and Crystal Rutherford Ferguson. This event is designed for senior business executives and seasoned entrepreneurs. Register at cibcfcib.com/ignite to secure your space. Only successful registrants will be acknowledged. Join us for the Ignite Leadership Conference, June 27th at Bahamar.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back at you on the Monday, June 10th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty and your company right up until 6 p.m. I got, Dr. Marvin Smith with me right now today, and I'm glad to have you here, my brother. Good to see you.
It's good to be here again.
Normally, you're here in a different capacity. You wear a headdress. You wear multiple Super Bowl rings. You rub it in the 5 o'clock hour. But today we have you in your professional capacity, which I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Not in your alter ego of Big Chief.
No, man.
We got 6 weeks of Cedivate before we get to see him again.
I can't wait.
I know you can't wait.
13 more Sundays in Del football.
And you have chalk in that division too, dear God. What are we going to do? But listen, why I reached out to you, and I need to get clarification on this, because as you know, I've written extensively to it in my column previously, and this is something that I want to get done right in the country, and it is the cannabis bill. And there's multiple levels that we can talk about it on, but one thing that jumps out in the initial, form is medicinal and sacramental, nothing to the recreational, so we'll have to speak to that later. But as far as the medicinal goes, it boils down to the distribution. And this is where, a key element of that distribution is that the pharmacies play in that role, especially according to Dr. Darville in his release in the House of Assembly in his statements. And according to Dr. Darville, the pharmaceutical bill also plays a crucial role by establishing protocols for the dispensation of medicinal cannabis. It creates a new category of pharmacy, the cannabis dispensary, which is specifically licensed to handle and dispense cannabis with oversight by a licensed pharmacist. The bill ensures that all dispensing procedures meet high safety standards and that dispensaries maintain accurate records of cannabis transactions to monitor usage and to prevent abuse. But this was initially, they reached out to you guys, but now, where do we stand? Have they got further consultation?
So Naughty,
because I'm seeing this and there's some red flags popping up. If you tell me, listen
to me. The minister is a very intelligent man. Okay, I've known him before he was minister. He's a very intelligent man. Okay, obviously somebody wrote that for him. Okay, and he read it well. But somebody wrote that for him because let's connect the dots. Okay, and let's be clear about this. I'm here as president of the Bahamas Pharmaceutical Association. So this is not my personal opinion.
Right.
Okay, this is what we reviewed as pharmacy stakeholders in the country. You've created a medical cannabis bill. So you're now saying that cannabis is a medicine. And I want everybody just to connect the dots with me because you do not need a high school diploma or a college degree or being a doctor or pharmacist to figure this one out. All right? The government says that they are going to create a medical cannabis bill and also allow for some sacramental use. Okay? They've come out even after that and said they're not going to pursue recreational or what we call adult use cannabis. Okay? So if it's a medicine, and the minister reads in his own statement that the pharmaceutical bill is important because it creates a cannabis dispensary, okay? Then ask yourself this question. If the cannabis dispensary comes under the Pharmacy Act, right? You want the cannabis dispensary to be supervised, where one pharmacist can supervise up to 5 cannabis dispensaries. Supervise.
Correct.
Okay? But the person that you are creating to be the cannabis dispenser is not being created in the Pharmacy Act, but being created under the Medical Cannabis Act. That's the first thing. They're not licensed or registered under the Pharmacy Council, but they're licensed and registered by the Cannabis Authority. Your physicians who are a part of this, because it's a medicine, have to speak under their council. The pharmacists have to operate under their council and their act. But these cannabis dispensers, who from your own draft, you are saying are operating in a cannabis pharmacy and dispensing a medicine, don't have to be pharmacists. In fact, don't have to have any healthcare training. And nowhere in your act details out what kind of training it is. Your only requirements is you must be 21 years or above and have a clean police record.
And know how to use a scale.
You don't even know how to use a scale. It's digital.
That's what I'm saying.
You understand what I'm saying? So let's just think about that. It defies
Wouldn't
logic.
you want, if you want it done correctly, in my mind, that if I'm prescribed medicinal marijuana, and I'm a proponent of medicinal marijuana, so I'm not going to run from it, but obviously if my doctor prescribes it, wouldn't I want it to be dispensed from a person or a dispensary with some pharmaceutical knowledge of what my career record is, health record, if I got, say, hypertension, I got high blood pressure, I got a heart condition, I got whatever. You don't want it to counteract, correct?
You would think that everybody would think that way, but you have to also understand that economics drives healthcare decisions. There's a reason why if you don't have a certain amount of money, you go to PMH, emergency room, and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna be mad and you're gonna be angry because you have a non-life-threatening problem. They're going to triage you and say, we got 80 people to see before you. But if you ain't got no money, you're going to stay there. All right? Now, if you got money,
you're going up the road.
After 25 minutes, you suck teeth, you go up the road. Okay? Well, look at the majority. I saw a stat recently. 87% of medications dispensed in this country are dispensed in a public facility. So 87% of the people make the choice,
right, to go to a
public facility, right? Which means that at least, let's say, half of them don't have a choice.
Wouldn't that be the norm if they would dispense or they prescribe medicinal marijuana? Wouldn't they follow that same structure?
They have nothing in this act that talks about public facilities doing this. That's the first thing. Okay?
But then wouldn't that, if you don't have public facilities involved, wouldn't that allow for rogue operators or a black market?
No, what you want to do is you're driving them to the private sector. But here's the problem. The cost of operating a licensed and legitimate pharmacy will far exceed the cost of setting up a kiosk somewhere with a person that you don't have to pay because they don't have no real qualifications, right? You don't have any real guidelines to deal with, all right? There's not staffing and all these other concerns that everybody has to be qualified to do, all right? You could literally open up a place and have one person there, and that's your cannabis dispensary. But the problem is, for the people who money becomes a real decisive factor, right? They're always going to go there. And you put those people at an inherent danger because you have somebody dispensing a controlled substance, right? For if you look at their list of prescribed diseases, Naughty, these are not diseases where they only going to be on marijuana. These are diseases where people are on critically complex drugs.
Correct.
Okay? And the person who's giving them this marijuana they can't even pronounce half of these stuff.
But let me just ask you midway through this, because obviously, if they're prescribing medicinal marijuana, you said that obviously they already have existing conditions where they will be prescribed medication or drugs for.
Correct.
What if folks want to come off like Western medicine and not take prescription drugs, but go fully, medicinal or herbal? Obviously, they're going to need somebody as well to be able to break down the benefits of the herbal supplements and so on and so forth.
And again, these are the things that as pharmacists we're trained in.
Correct.
Okay? I started pharmacy school in 1995. Okay? And from 1995 to 1997, I spent 2 years in a course of study called pharmacognosy, where at that time at Mercer University in Atlanta, we were one of 5 schools in the country teaching medical cannabis. My professor, Dr. Lopez, used to work at the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, which at that time had one of 2 federal cannabis plantations for research in the country. All right? And I'm saying this, that even me, who's been exposed to this for almost 30 years, all right, I still have to draw back on my foundation, but I have to stay updated on stuff. Somebody who has not had any training in pharmacy is going to be completely unequipped, not ill-equipped, unequipped to deal with patients and to deal with this type of medicine. It's a foolhardy idea at best.
I still, like I said, I've been a proponent of getting to this point, but I want it to be done correctly. When the bill's passed, it needs to be beneficial to Bahamians in all sectors when it's passed correctly. And this, boy, I tell you.
I'll give you another serious issue. And my physician colleagues, I've been on numerous shows with the president of the
because I'm sitting there, Marvin, and I know we as Bahamians, but we take a lot of medication. Like people take 2, 3, 4 days. They take
to afford the average patient with chronic diseases is on 6 medications in this country. 6.
Wow, so they already come
and that doesn't include the ones that are already combinations.
Right, if they come in with an ailment along those lines on existing meds up to 6, which is average.
Right.
You're going to have somebody to decipher what type of medicinal strain you have to be given of cannabis.
Not just that. In terms of how taking a cannabis-based medicine is going to interact with your other meds, whether it's an issue of having you to recommend to your physician that those meds are changed, or whether the dosing times are changed, all these different things are critical. Well, when we start talking about these sort of things, and I'm going to push some big words out here, right? Pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics, right? Metabolic factors, all right? These are all seriously complex things that we learn in pharmacy school. To not just say whether what you're taking is right, but how you should take it, what form you should take it, what time you should take it, how much of it you should take. These are critical things, all right? And this is why when you go to the pharmacy, it takes a little while to get your prescription filled, because any idiot could just stick a label on something and count in fives. That's not what we do.
Okay, all right. Afternoon, audience, you guess. We need to call BS on the government because this medical marijuana law is a get-rich scheme for them to break our backs with taxes. I am for medical and recreational use, but the way they have the law structured is not the way forward. As they say in dancehall, wheel and come again select.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing that really bothers us. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, right? I try to take people at their word when they give it to me. But if the government wanted to do this for the Bahamian people, the government has 123 different pharmacy facilities in the country. There are 78 private pharmacies in the country. So there's 199 outlets in this country for people to be able to get this from. If the government decided, no, we just want pharmacists to do this because we want to tax, then tax us. You would be able to get the same amount of money because the people would still be coming and it wouldn't affect the government. So what scares me...
But this allows for a pharmacy that operates to get a said contract, and even though they operate outside of where the 87% of people normally go to get their prescriptions filled?
Listen. It goes beyond that, Naughty. You do realize that pharmacy in the country is a protected industry. All right? You cannot be a non-Bahamian and own a pharmacy. So they put this cannabis dispensary under the Pharmacy Act to define it as a pharmacy, but they're putting the actual dispensary licensing under another entity rather than the Pharmacy Council, which means that foreigners could come in and apply.
No, we gotta finish this on the flip side of the break. We gotta get to the news. We'll get over into the flip side of the break and we'll finish the conversation with Dr. Marvin Smith, all right? It is definitely something that we have to continue to talk about because if we want to get this cannabis bill done correctly, we have to have the conversations and lobby for what is actually needed. So we'll talk about the fact that pharmaceuticals in this country should be exclusively to Bahamians. And, of course, we'll get some suggestions from Dr. Smith on how we can possibly remedy this situation moving forward. All right, and then we'll get him to talk some sportsmen. Pretty chime in at the 5 o'clock hour. There was a method to our madness. Keep it right where you got it. Talking Heads, Monday, June 10th edition, continues right after this. We're back at you on the Monday, June 10th edition of Talking Heads. And we're into the 5 o'clock hour, and we'll get to sports shortly. Pearlie will be zooming in short order. Keep an eye out for Pearlie, Mr. Producer. But real quick, Dr. Smith, and I know we got to wrap. And we definitely want to have you back on again, for sure, because we have to continue this conversation. Obviously, until we get the bill right. But if I'm not mistaken, and we always talk about the cost of living on this show, and it's crazy out of whack now. Mm-hmm. If I stand to be corrected, didn't the pharmacies have to shut down last year at some point? Or earlier, no, last year, because of, the whole cost of living situation and prices being astronomical?
That's not exactly why we shut down. We shut down because the government engaged in a regimen of price control while refusing to actively and properly
That's right.
engage.
The price can. Yeah, man.
Well, and see, one of the things with me, right? I tell people, I
That's why I said it. I stand to be corrected, but I know there was an issue.
Let me be as blunt as I could be with this, okay? The Minister of State for Finance said that he got no consultation from us on an issue, that we had sent him and met with him. All right? We indicated at that point, if y'all ain't gonna be as clear and transparent with us as we need to be, we need to speak with the PM. Couldn't get a meeting. We figured out we needed to get their attention. So pharmacies closed down. And by noon, we had an appointment with the PM. Confirmed. All right? We met with the PM, got the issue settled. All right? Now, and I want to be, see, I don't get personal with these fellas because I don't really know none of these dudes and I don't really care to know them. It is what it is, right? But my take is this, okay? The minister brings a bill to cabinet. Cabinet looks at it and says, hey, you spoke to the right people on this. This is good. We got the experts. Yeah, and you take them at your word. And the minister may be taking his experts at his word. But it's a bad bill. It's a dangerous bill for public safety. All right? And at this point now, since it's already been read once in Parliament, we ain't really got no more discussions with ministers. We got to talk to the one fella who has the authority to halt what's happening and direct who we need to talk to. That's the Prime Minister. And so, what we've been doing is aggressively and proactively educating the Bahamian people as to why this is an issue. All right? And now, I think what you're going to find is, since we haven't gotten them to contact us, even though we've asked them to do so, we're gonna aggressively and actively first formally write. All right? And whatever we say to the Prime Minister, we can say to the Bahamian people. There ain't gonna be no secrets around here. All right? That's the position of the association. And if the government is not going to continue if the government is going to continue in this non-engagement, then, you can't be partners with somebody who you can't engage with. That don't make no sense.
No.
Okay? So I can put it as blunt as that. All right? We are fighting for the soul of what pharmacy practice is. All right? And our physician colleagues are in the same position because they want to be able to allow people to come from somewhere else, from a doctor that nobody knows, from a country that you have no clue whether this doctor is legitimate or not, and bring a medical card or a prescription from this doctor, and we supposed to, not even us supposed to fill it as pharmacists, this cannabis dispenser. So if you look at their list, you could come with a prescription from Slovenia or from Czechoslovakia, all right, the Czech Republic, all right? And those prescriptions ain't written in English. And they can show up with that and say, hey, that's me and cannabis, and walk into one of these dispensaries, and you don't know who you giving what, all right? There's an issue. Someone asked me the other day, did they write this for Bahamians or did they write this for tourists? And I said, I don't know how they can write it for tourists because at the end of the day, they can't take medical or not, they can't take it on the cruise ships. Cruise ships come under federal guidelines. They can't take it on airlines. Airlines come under federal guidelines. All right?
God.
So these are the things you have to look at and be very careful. And Naughty, the thing is this. Yes, there's an economic issue, but the more pressing issue for us as pharmacists is the health and safety of our folk. The other thing we have to go back and look at the act is, and I encourage everybody else, if you're in the agriculture sector, you need to look at this act. You need to ask, does this act really empower me to be a part of this? Or just some big, huge, multi-million-dollar corporation? If you're in the production and processing business, you need to look.
This is important.
You need to look at all of these things because Bahamians, listen to me very carefully.
Average age of the Bahamian farmer is 70. You don't think some young people might want to get into the cultivation and production of medicinal marijuana?
Okay, and here's the thing. Don't fool yourself believing that once this passed, you're going to be able to get all this good weed that's coming from the States, right? Because here's the issue. First of all, Canada can't keep up with its own production. So you ain't getting nothing coming important from that. They cannot keep up with their own.
That's what's causing them a problem now.
Their own demand right now.
And they were one of the blueprints from when they first started. And look where they at now.
That's why they're buying from Jamaica.
Correct.
Okay? Now, here's the other problem you have.
And they could buy from us if we had young Bahamian farmers growing it.
But here's the other problem you have, though. How you going to get it there? Because at the end of the day, particularly from the U.S., U.S. ships have to go through federal facilities, okay? Federally, you still cannot move marijuana anywhere. I was just telling you off the air. 2 days ago, both cannabis facilities, dispensaries in Martha's Vineyard.
And they were two of the bigger ones for a while.
Right. Had to close down because the federal law doesn't allow them to ferry from Boston to Martha's Vineyard because they have to pass through federal waters. And that's in the U.S. So if the U.S. ain't letting it go from a U.S. state to a U.S. island,
and so
you think
know,
it's coming us?
Martha's Vineyard, in relation to Boston on the ferry, is like from here
to PI.
To PI or Rose Island Toss.
Yeah.
Sandy Toss.
Yeah. And ain't far.
That small amount of waterway.
Okay.
That could cost you.
And they cannot do it because it's federal waters. So listen, I got to be blunt with this. All right? This is not an act that if you like to smoke recreational cannabis, is going to make it any easier for you. Or allow you to walk in and get something from a dispensary. Because you still need a prescription if you're Bahamian. Okay? That's the problem. Now you come from somewhere else, you come with a medical card. So you still got to go to Pookie on the corner and get what you want.
No, but I got to text the gentleman and say, Doc, ask Dr. Smith, would this now replace the sex slip with certain doctors in this country if they were licensed to prescribe medicinal marijuana? Would this take the place of the work slip? I mean,
listen. No physician who values his license is going to willy-nilly give you this, because if something happens to you, the difference with sick slip is, listen, you could give me any excuse, and if they catch you on the plane, if your boss catch you on the plane after you give him the sick slip, right? I could say, well, they look sick to me when I see them. Okay? This is going to require different sorts of tests before you can get this stuff. Okay? And if I'm a physician or a pharmacist...
But if you got like early onset glaucoma, or you think you got glaucoma, or you got
there's lab tests for that. There's lab tests for those sort of things. You don't just mix up. And
what about insomnia?
Listen, if a physician does this and it's proven that they did it without the proper stuff, they lose their license. Now, why would I lose my license that's allowing me to print money for $300,000 for what might be $30,000 worth of business? That don't make no sense. Who's taking that risk?
Yeah.
All right? Who's taking that risk? All right? And at the end of the day, this is why the Bahamian doctors are concerned, because they understand that the process for how people get these things in some of these other territories is way less
stringent than what we're trying to do.
But if they do it here and something happens to that patient, they're responsible. They're legally liable. All right? Same thing for us as pharmacists. So what we're trying to do is say to the government, let's get this done right. If you say you want medical in Sacramento, sit down with us. Who are the experts, the real experts in doing this? And I don't get personal. I ain't trying to knock nobody. But let's
you know what you know, Doc. You know what you know.
And the people who understand how dispensing and proper procedures for controlled drugs should do and happen in actuality are your pharmacists, your pharmacy owners, your practicing pharmacists.
Well, that would be initially, if I get prescribed a prescription, I need to go to the dispensaries, and I hope that they would have, if I'm going to a public facility especially, licensed pharmacists who know what's going on.
Of course. And so these are the things, listen, we're doing this to protect all of us, okay? All of us, all right? And it can't be a thing where we decide, well, we can make this exception for cannabis. When they reschedule in this act, they want to reschedule cannabis under the same category as drugs like ecstasy and LSD, all right? Which can be used for medical use. The FDA just took a vote that they don't think there's enough evidence yet for ecstasy for certain things, but they've allowed people to still do some research on it. All right. So you're putting marijuana in that same category, and then you're saying somebody with no medical training is the person to
dispense that.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
But I appreciate you stopping by. I think there's more things we need to talk about in relation to this cannabis bill. So we got to have you on again. And in addition, we got to talk about, drugs too. Because a lot of people here, they when they say, they heard you were coming on, I said, got to have Doc on one day. We got to talk about medicine. There's a lot of older people out there want to talk. Like I had a friend in the barbershop say, I know they didn't give me one generic prescription. Now I worried. I was like, generic can kill you, brother.
No. Well, listen, we're more than happy to partner with you in one of those afternoons. I'd love to bring in some of our
let's do it, man, so we can get people up to snuff and know what they can mix and what they can't mix, and it was good for them, and with some of the over-counter stuff that could help them.
Yeah, because with football season coming, Dolphin fans and 49er fans and Cowboy fans
I know you're
going to need
don't forget Bengal fans too.
I know, right, but the Bengals used to losing, so they don't even cry when they lose. But you know, and then these Dodger fans who think they're gonna win again. A lot of pain relief medications are gonna be flowing. I want to make sure that there's no interactions because Pearlie is a Laker and a Dodger. Boy, listen, it's rough. It's rough out there.
So says the man who's starting who's supposed to be looking at kind of people to rehab and drugs. You're rehabbing criminals in Kansas City, man. You're but 2 arrested last month.
Listen to me, man.
No, hold on. That's the same dude who got arrested twice in the last month.
Yeah. And guess
he's doing his best John Morant impersonation.
And don't feel bad because you know what's gonna happen, right? It's really a non-violent crime. He's going to pay for this woman's car, pay for her medical injuries. He can get hit with a fine. He can do some community service.
8-game suspension.
No. The league's going to try to give him 6. They're going and the players' union is going to say 2. He might miss 3 games. He might miss 3 games. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Which and guess what? Whatever punishment they give him, I'm okay with. Because one thing about me. All right. I love my team. I don't care about players.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right? So I
try to tell a certain fella sitting next to you that I don't worry about the players, I worry about the team.
I love my team, but if you have a raging bronsexual running through LA, I have a right to say I don't like that.
Well, the other problem, Pearlie, listen, the Lakers are so. LeBron has brought the Lakers to such a horrible low place that a college coach is refusing to come and coach him.
Yeah, Pearlie.
A college coach who was graduating 4 of his 5 starters. Okay, rather stay in Connecticut.
No, but hear me. I think Hurley used the Lakers, played the Lakers to get what he wanted from Connecticut.
That's what he did.
And he's got a loaded squad coming back, and he's going for 3 straight.
You know what I mean?
That has nothing to do with LeBron. And guess what? He can get beat in the first round. That's for
no. Listen to me. He 4 of his starters might be gone, but they got a couple of transfers coming in, and that bench was deep. And the problem listen, if North Carolina don't get their act together, if my Tar Heels don't get it together this year, you will see a 3-peat both in college basketball and then in the NFL.
Oh
Lord.
And God help y'all if my dogs, who are preseason number 1, actually pull it together. Because if my Tar Heels, my dogs, and my Chiefs win, y'all need to give me my own show.
Wow.
All right.
Notice you ain't saying nothing.
My Cubs. I know that.
Listen. I mean, he'd only be talking to himself. Like nobody would really be listening because they don't want to hear Kansas City.
Listen, all my Taylor Swift fans will be on there, man.
Yeah, that's true too. You play some Taylor intro music, you're out there for sure.
They play for the Taylor Chiefs. We know that.
But let me ask you
about baseball. You're very quiet on baseball.
My Cubs are doing what they can.
Oh no. Quiet, I got you. Don't worry about
that. Pearlie, like I told you, on Friday night, that was a great game. That could have gone either way, 12 innings. It was a great game. The next day, you came out and monkey stomped. This Sunday, we got the win. It is what it is. Hats off to you all. Y'all took 2 out of 3. Let's keep it moving. Okay. It was good baseball.
But let's put it in perspective. You see, you can't diss my team if I take 2 out of 3 and the team with the best record in baseball.
Yeah, y'all's always at the best record in baseball, but
they don't have the Yankees.
The Yankees got the best record in baseball. We sitting in the middle of the park.
Well, and guess what?
We just have a bigger lead than the Yankees.
Well, because your division is trash. Your division is trash.
I mean, he's in denial about that, but yes.
You got a softball team from the old JFK Park, and two teams that's playing Southern Recreational Grounds playing in your division.
Wow. So which one is San Diego's the Southern Recreation?
San Diego's the Southern Recreation. You know that. The Giants. I get the Giants. At least I get the Giants at your stadium.
You get the Giants. You haven't even went with Arizona.
Arizona's garbage. Arizona's garbage.
Okay.
Arizona's not. It's not bueno. No bueno.
My only problem I have with MLB baseball is I think they should have 8 teams in the playoffs. and everybody start at the same time. That week layoff has historically shown
that has murdered his Dodgers for a couple of years, man.
Not just the Dodgers. It murdered the Atlanta Braves, and it murdered the Milwaukee Brewers, and it basically murdered some teams in the American League. It doesn't work.
Listen. Baseball is the easiest sport for you to keep a rhythm. You go to the batting cage every day. You go to the pitching mound every day, even if you're off. Okay?
That's what they say.
And here's the thing.
It ain't that more like that game heat, though. They always say it's easy to keep it. It's not like that game heat.
Pearly, the thing where Rush shows up is defense. And you don't see the errors in defense. So obviously they ain't rusty. The problem that you have is that you give them people time off, and people don't spend the time doing what they're supposed to do. Baseball players are notoriously bad at keeping routines.
I know that. That's why they need to start playing right away. Right away.
Well, I mean, if you all stay in the middle of the park with we all are this year.
You want to do that, and you start the next season right after the week after that.
I'm not a big wild card guy. I figure if you don't win your division, you shouldn't be. That's too much. It's too much. There's too much teams. And even this play-in with the NBA, it's too much teams.
I think the play-in is a waste of time. I don't like that. But the wild card in football, the wild card in baseball, it's generation money for the teams. Because all those teams can sell out. All those teams, whoever they playing, regardless of whether it's wild card, they can sell out.
Well,
they can make the money.
You know,
and it's an extra couple of weeks about football. I mean, come on, if you're not quick, we'll be bored in February.
We got a call. Go ahead, Burley.
And we'll be going board in the third week in January instead of the first or second week of February.
Listen, the minute football finish, I feel like I did.
Exactly. So
I'd be depressed, but I ain't gonna lie. It's been a couple of weeks. I'm really depressed.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phone line.
Because I slide right from baseball.
Naughty, what's happening? What's happening, Naughty? What's happening?
Hey, we got Mystery Dolphin chiming in. What's going on, Mystery Dolphin?
Oh, hey, Naughty. Hey, Pearly. What's happening, Pearly, and your guest?
That's the Big Chief.
The Big Chief?
Representing Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, he arrived with me then because, when the Dolphins is out, I pull for the Chiefs.
There's wisdom in your words.
Do not encourage him, dog. Do not encourage him.
Even though there may have been wisdom in his words right then, watch these next set of words.
Patrick Mahomes, the Dolphins is number one, then the Chiefs. No one else, nothing else. But anyway, I hear you guys talking about baseball. Listen, next to golf, baseball is the dyingest and deadest game ever in sport.
Except when you go to the stadium and you see the stadium sold out on a nightly basis.
Yeah. That's all right. That don't make it no livelier. That just makes you experiencing it.
You know why it's dying to you? Because you're not a baseball fan.
Not just that. TV baseball is bad.
Yeah.
TV baseball is bad.
But real baseball in the stadium?
Listen.
Cold beer? Good food?
I was in Atlanta. I went to watch the Braves the other day. And great time. I'm going up to Wrigley this summer. And let me tell you something. There's nothing.
There's too much games. There's too many games.
Listen to me. There's nothing like going to a baseball game. You get a group. It's an affordable ticket. 2, you carry a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
And 3, there's other things going on. The stuff that you don't see during the commercials. There's a lot of things going on. Yeah. The
interactions
and the stop clock on pitching has helped baseball. But the problem with baseball on TV is baseball announcers are boring. They're absolutely trash.
Can one of you give me a synopsis of what's going on with Dallas, please, in Boston?
They ain't playing no defense, and Kyrie Irving can't buy a bucket. Simple.
And
the refs.
But I'll be honest with you, Dallas has rebounded in all their series at home, and they've been down coming off the road.
So you think Dallas is gonna win this?
There's gonna be a 7-game series. I think right now, Kid has to make an adjustment on White and on Porzingis because those are two things that he can't. He's handling who he needs to handle.
Hold on.
Porzingis and White are the intangibles.
Go ahead, Naughty.
I said White and Porzingis are the intangibles right now. Kid's got to figure out something defensively for that.
Now remember, Porzingis is hurt. He got hurt in the second half. I don't know if he can play on Wednesday.
Right, so there you go. And that allows Dallas to creep back in. And Kyrie Irving's not going to be, shooting, what he's shooting right now. He's going to improve.
Not just that. They got to get DJ off the court. Derek Johnson. He is horrible on defense. He doesn't stop it. He just long and skinny, like Slender Man. Right? He's Kevin Durant with no shot, and no defense.
Correct.
You might as well bring in Josh Green, all right?
And let him run.
And at least say, D this fella up, don't give him the drive. If he posts you up, then we bring a switch. But Derek Johnson, I know him because he used to play for the Heat.
So what's your end game? Who you think you win the finals?
I ran with Dallas in 7, so that's what I got to ride with. But
if Kyrie don't show up, if Kyrie don't show up, this over in 5.
Yeah, if he don't show up in Game 3 or this week, in these 2, it's over in 5.
Kyrie haven't shown up as yet.
Kyrie has not hit a 3-pointer at all for the entire first 2 games. Hit a 3-pointer. He can't even dribble.
But
I don't see that continuing.
You ain't see this?
I don't see that continuing. I think you just got to take off the moccasins and put on some sneakers and go for it.
I want to see Minnesota Kyrie. That's what I want to see.
Well,
I want to see the Kyrie I saw against Minnesota exactly.
Yeah.
And it may be just a case of after 6 straight trips to the Eastern Conference Finals, Boston might finally have it right. They might have finally figured it out.
Boston ain't clicking.
If one other player Dallas stepped the game up, but they would have beat them last night.
And guess what? Dallas didn't look good the other night when it was up by 36 points, and it got cut way down.
They started playing, but then they went away from the driving.
Jason Kidd got to put out the whip.
Yeah.
And Luka can understand you. What I see a lot happening is they only get one pass over Luka. When Luka drives to the bucket, if he passes, you got to shoot. I watched Dallas do it with Dallas passing the ball a couple of times and going back up.
Yeah, but it's not just that Luka is maybe not passing with enough time for people to create shots. The other problem you have is this, all right? And we have to look at how Dallas's offense flows. All right? They're using Luka so much, particularly in the second and third quarters, that he's running out of gas. Look at his mid-range jump shots in the fourth quarter. They're all short. They're all short.
The ball. He can still be used almost that much, but he's holding the ball too long. He got to get rid of the ball quicker so he can catch himself.
Yeah, they got it. Kid has to watch his minutes and keep him around but the problem is he hasn't been able to because they got boat raced in the first game. They were down by 30. You had to keep him in the game to shoot your way back in. And then the other game, it was neck and neck. What Dallas has to do is come out strong. That first quarter, they've been getting killed every quarter.
Yeah,
come out strong so they could rest Luka toward the end of the first quarter, give him a break, and then he can use the halftime to really recharge. Because the fourth quarter, he has to have the ball in his hand, and he can be out of gas.
Okay, so Nutty chose Dallas. What do you choose? With him?
I chose Dallas as well.
Yeah.
I chose anybody but the Celtics. So, if I got to root, I can't say I'm rooting for Dallas because it's hard. Rooting for Kyrie.
Nutty chose Dallas because he's a Cowboy.
Yeah.
All right, I got that.
I see.
He's also a Laker, so he ain't gonna never play for the Celtics.
Yeah.
I didn't say rooting for Dallas. I said pick Dallas to win. I didn't mean I rooting for them.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen. It's amazing to me. I saw this the other day. So Johnny, I won't take credit for it, right? But someone said,
hang up. You guys have a good one.
Yeah.
All right, Mystery, be safe, brother.
Yes. So somebody said it's hard to root for a anti-Semite, racist person who just talks too much and never knows what to say. And when he gets caught, he said he owns fake news. And I said, you mean Trump? They said, no, Kyrie. But
wow. With that being said, let me go to the phone lines. Ouch.
Ooh, that's cold.
Oh, gosh.
I ain't gonna lie and take credit for it.
I can tell which radio stations you listen to of American politics. Talking heads.
Hey, Naughty.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
I tried to call Pearly, but I catch him today. Y'all may
What's
don't
up,
like
bro?
Boston, right?
I know you're a big Boston Celtic fan, man.
Oh, you know that. Boston going all the way. See, Dallas overmatched. Boston got a couple good stars on that team to compare to Dallas. That's number one. And it ain't nothing happening. So that may go in 4 and 5 to 1. I tried to call Pearly the other day and you had the fellow on there.
You say 4? You sure you ain't getting a sneak preview of that medical cannabis sake? Is that
No. I'm one with that. I may call my long clothes.
Well, I mean, y'all Celtics really putting on for it, man. Y'all long-time Celtics must see it.
The got Jaylen Brown look like he playing good, and you got the other guy White, and you got Drew Holiday. That's 4 good starters right there. You know what I
but
mean?
White's getting off, and Drew Holiday's getting off because they got. First of all, Drew is too big for Kyrie to guard in the post. All right, and then White has half the time he got Derek Johnson on him, and that dude he's just not a good defensive player.
That Johnson boy used to play with Miami.
Yeah, he's horrible. He was garbage with us.
Yeah, he used to play with Miami.
All he can do is jump, and apparently he can't even jump now because he get blocked twice in the last 2 games at the rim.
See, they outmatched, and you can let Duke on. Once Kyrie don't score 30 points and Duke got to score 30, that's the only way they can win, and that ain't gonna happen.
Naughty, what do you think would be the benefit if they gave someone like a Tim Hardaway Jr. a little more playing time? He has a jump shot. He ain't a drive, but he could play defense.
I don't know why he's gone so deep on that bench and they're not playing.
He's a tenacious defender,
and he could score.
And he gives you the length and strength.
Kid may throw him out in game 3. We got the Texas chiming in. Naughty, I'm just tuning in. Great show as usual. You guys really expecting more from Dallas? They have someone coaching them who only has 1 ring. Celtics have this wrapped up, done. So you saying the coach with 1 ring could lose to the coach with no rings? All right.
These guys
talking about.
Tell you all that. That's what we win.
Kid is one of the best point guards ever to play the game.
One of the best coaches who makes in-game adjustments has been noted. But hey, we'll see how it pans out. I picked Dallas in 7, so that's what I got to ride with.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna ride long then.
Hey, listen here. When this don't go right for your little leprechaun behind, don't worry. I could be right here to remind you, all right? You and Johnny Most and Tom Heinsohn and all of them.
I just tell a certain sportscaster from another station who bragging. I said, don't start bragging. It's going to win 2 more.
Yeah? I know which one that is, too.
Mm-hmm.
I looking right over the window and seeing he big head. Only thing saving him is he got a Yankee out on a big head.
No, not that one. Not that one. There's a different radio station. I would say Guardian. I would say Guardian Radio. There's a different radio station.
A different one?
Yeah, one hill. Somewhere on one hill.
Oh, you mean, is it like government owned?
Yeah.
That's low budget. Nobody know who you're talking about.
Well, they know what you're talking about.
Ain't nobody know who that is. They only know the big leagues.
You better leave my chip and arm boy alone. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's why I said what I said. That's the goosey from Chip and Iron. That's the poke from the hood.
Listen. But Naughty, you have
go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, you have to be able to, in a series like this, make adjustments. This is now on Kid. You've seen what Boston is doing. Boston's playing pickup ball, and every so often when you run them down, they just go and they start shooting a bunch of threes. The law of averages tells you that those threes can't always keep dropping. All right? Yeah. People are who they are. All right? Kid now has to adjust to keep the games closer in the beginning. They have the stronger team in the end because they have the one guy who's a real closer. That's Luka. All right? But he has to get him strong. He has to keep him strong until the end. All right? Which means he got to figure out a way to call some more stuff for Kyrie. Kyrie, if you don't get Kyrie involved early, then he falls into this dribble, pass the ball. Call some specific plays for Kyrie early. Get him off. Get him driving to the lane. Get him to the free throw line. Kyrie likes that kind of contact.
And the closer he scores from, the further back he starts scoring from.
Yeah. Okay? So that's what he has to do. Because Luka game gonna come. They have no answer for Luka. All right?
But I don't, I also think it's more of Dallas defense that's hurting them more than anything else because it's not compensating for Kyrie's being out. Even with White had 25 points. 18 of them was in the paint because they scared of Porzingis or Brown, so they don't want to collapse down on White, and so White's killing them in the paint.
And that's why I'm saying you bring Tim Hardaway, you bring a bigger body, okay?
Yes.
And someone who can move a little better.
Yes.
Having that tall, skinny skeleton do it don't make no sense. You need to sit him.
Yeah, but they put him because he think he can match him with the 7-3 reach.
Can't.
Porzingis, but
Porzingis can shoot over anybody. So what you do is you say to him, you know what, if you want to play, all right, the best I can do is push you with as far as and I can live and die with your shot. The best jump shotters still only shoot 40%. That's the best. Yeah. Okay? But the problem is if you bring him on homeboy, he's shooting over him and he taking him to the hole. The boy ain't giving you no rebounds. He can't give you no blocks.
Who are you talking about?
Derek.
Is this a bad matchup for him?
Lively's just the problem with Lively is Lively plays defense with his hands and not with his feet.
Yeah,
and he's been doing it all season. Okay, the other boy Washington is much better than him, even though he's smaller than him.
Yeah,
because he plays defense with his feet and with his butt. Your feet and your butt is what move you on the court.
All right.
Yeah.
I got a couple of things. Got to big up Hans and the crew up there at the Sea Grapes Liquor Store. I got it locked and loaded. Pearly Hans said to let me and you know, Celtics in 6. That's a wrap.
We'll see. Time will tell, my brother Hans. Time will tell.
Naughty tell Doc.
Always remember what Chris Berman says. That is why we play the game. You got to play the game.
Naughty tell Doc, who loves them, Georgia Bulldogs, his former co-worker Yvonne is tuning in. And yes, the Chiefs going to win it again this year.
And I know.
Oh, you got all the people in the office.
You tell her to tell her favorite Dolphin fan that he's still ain't getting in the playoffs this year.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I ain't getting
okay.
Here's another question. Naughty, how will Hurley fit in the Lakers system with LeBron? Well, he won't because Hurley declined the offer from the Lakers. He's going to stay in UConn, so we'll never know if he fit the Lakers system or if LeBron would have fit his system.
And if Reddick got sense, he stay right in that boot.
Yeah.
You don't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
But the Lakers have not signed LeBron yet. He's not said LeBron may leave, and he may get mad.
You hear what you don't say? LeBron ain't getting nowhere.
Dear Father God, Daddy of baby Jesus, please let LeBron leave. Amen.
Listen. It ain't gonna never happen. He ain't leaving LA to go to Phoenix.
If he can play with Bronny.
Listen to me. He can't play with KD and Booker. Bron need the ball in his hand. They two ball dominant people.
That's true.
Okay? And Bronny would play with Bronny where? Bronny is 6'1".
Bronny gonna get drafted though. Take the spot of somebody who deserves it.
He can be a draft between 51 and 60. At the end of the draft, somebody can be stupid and grab him. Probably end up being the Lakers.
Listen to me. The man averaged 4 points a game playing for USC coming off the bench with a team that only won 11 games.
Sucks.
They were horrible.
All right.
I'm not knocking what they were. I'm not knocking what they were at all. But if you listen to all the pundits and you listen to the draft experts or you listen to the combine experts, he has potential. Not right away. He may have to go in G League or whatever that league is. But they figure in 3 years he'll be a really good NBA player. I only tell you what they say.
Not at 6'1". He ain't quick enough at 6'1". Never was.
And his jump shot ain't that good.
No.
All right, Purdy, we got to get into it right now, man. We got to get our pro picks going with the Allen game. We got baseball tonight, man. 6 big baseball games tonight. 7 games tonight in the major leagues. And remember, man, it's all about the Allen game and the Allen Game Sportsbook. Simply log on and, check it out. TheAllenGame.com. Click on the Sportsbook. Many ways to play, many ways to win. And they always remind you to play responsibly. All right, we got Baltimore and Tampa Bay. I like Baltimore in this one, Purdy.
I like Burns pitching, so I like Baltimore.
Got the Rockies and the Twins. I like the Twins at home.
Rockies can save their life. I'll go with the Twins anyway. Yeah, Gatson having a really bad year with them. That's not much. I think he's like 2-8 or 2-7. Ain't not bad.
This should be a pretty good series. The Yankees and the Royals this week. I got to go with the Yankees coming off the win last night against the Dodgers.
I'm going to go with Lugo and the Royals. You said it. We're not giving them the respect.
No, they're doing well, but Lugo getting hit lately.
When he get hit last?
Last week.
Okay, well then that means he's overdue. That means he's overdue. It's time for him to get back on track. He's 9-1.
Should be a good game. It ain't that.
It'll be a good game, but I can pull for the Yankees. Not pull for the Yankees, but the Royals tonight.
There you go. Blue Jays and Brewers. I like the Brewers at home.
I like the Brewers at home.
White Sox and Mariners. I like the Mariners.
I like why?
They play good in Seattle.
I just go with the White. The only bright hope is Feta, so I go with them, even though they can be sellers real soon.
A's and Padres in San Diego. I like the Padres at home.
Yeah, unfortunately, I like the Cease pitching tonight, so yeah.
And your second favorite team, the San Francisco Giants, they're at home against the Houston Astros.
I like the Astros, not because they're the Giants, but I hate the Giants, but I like the Astros. I think they're a better team.
There you go. I kind of like the Astros tonight, too, to get it done.
And I like this in WNBA. I like the Sun, the bounce
Connecticut
back
Sun
over the Fever. They lost Jonquel and the Liberty the other night.
Yeah,
so I like the Sun to bounce back off their first loss and mash the Fever. But even though Caitlin put up 30 the last game, just defense tonight.
Well, I appreciate you, Pearly. Doc, I appreciate you
I give
chiming
you
in,
one
man.
more bonus.
Yeah.
Panthers go up 2-0 Stanley Cup tonight.
Yes, that's a good one, too. Appreciate you. We got to do it again on what we talked about in the 4 o'clock hour.
Yep.
And, you know, come sports, come football season, we expect you to chime in on the regular. You are our Kansas City Chief contributor.
Always, man, always. It's good to have a champion in the room, right?
Yeah, man, at some point. We can get one. We can get one. Until we get one in Dallas, I got to ride your coattails. Appreciate you as always, my brother, man. As always.
Be safe.
All right, man. We'll take a quick break.
Take care.
Flip side of the break, we got Colin Cowherd taking us home, man. So keep it right where you got it. Nice hot Final 10 going on. I'm talking NBA Finals. And in addition to that, also talking, like I said, the NBA Finals. There's something else that he talked about today that was hard interest. Oh, yeah, Hurley not taking the Lakers job. And a couple other tidbits. And Jaylen Brown, is he the number one player in Boston over Tatum?
A lot of people saying that.
A lot of people talking that.
Okay.
That's all coming up on the flip side of the break, so keep it right where you got it. Don't touch it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Later.
Is it a burger?
No. Is it pizza?
Come on, man, it's KFC. Whatever the crunch this is, it's delicious. New, the Kentucky Pizza Sandwich. Crispy chicken topped with marinara sauce, mozzarella, and pepperoni. Order your pizza sandwich now at kennasaw.com or at your favorite KFC restaurant today. It's new and it's radical. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Refined style with elegant taste, then fine threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then fine threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video. Wanna step out and look great, then fine threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then fine threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances, so come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Naughty Johnny's restaurant can only be described as the experience you want to recreate again and again and again. Their motto is simple food done well. You're welcome into their home at Naughty Johnny's, where you can dine on crack conch fritters, and other Bahamian favorites. There's also an international flair that's guaranteed to offer something for everyone. Enjoy a good meal and listen to a live band on their patio Friday and Saturday nights, or brunch on Saturday and Sunday, only at Naughty Johnny's restaurant in the Old Town Plaza, Old Fort. They're open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Naughty Johnny's, well worth the trip.
Ignite your leadership capabilities, expand your vision, and chart the path to a bright future at the CIBC Caribbean Ignite Leadership Conference, 27th of June at Bahamar from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Join Sarah Kunst, a venerated entrepreneur who has worked at Apple and Red Bull. Sarah is a Forbes 30 Under 30 Future Innovator and has been honored by the Wall Street Journal. Also hear about the leadership journey of Anthony Ferguson and Crystal Rutherford Ferguson. This event is designed for senior business executives and seasoned entrepreneurs. Register at cibcfcib.com/ignite to secure your space. Only successful registrants will be acknowledged. Join us for the Ignite Leadership Conference, June 27th at Bahamar.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
Play with Island Games. We making dreams come true. Play with Island Games. We paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market. You getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy and spicy is tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first. Guaranteed to pay. Island Games. We like them other jokers. We've been here from the start. From the bike to computer. Island Games. We gonna make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport convenience stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Chris Broussard now joins us live. So we thought if you don't announce it within like a day of being offered something, you know, you're probably going back to your bosses, your wife, your friend, whatever. Are you surprised he turned it down, Brew?
No, not when you see the numbers, 6 years, 70. I said last week, if I'm Dan Hurley, I'm looking at the Lakers like, I want 14, 15 million per year. Now, Monty Williams makes 13, and he's the fourth highest paid coach in the league, and obviously he's struggling with Detroit. So I think 14 or 15 is justified for like 7 years, 100, which sounds crazy, but 7 years, 100 million gives you the type of security that you would need to coach LeBron and Anthony Davis. They're veterans. They're set in their ways. Hurley wants to come in and say, this is how we're doing it. This is the program, right? They wanted to build something like Boston with Brad Stevens and Oklahoma City with Mark Daigneault and Presti, that they're building a program. And that was the post-LeBron thing, but you got to get him through the LeBron and AD years. So I thought it would have taken something like that. And to be honest, the Lakers should have went there. Now, I know they're not one of the wealthiest ownership groups, but remember, 20 years ago, they offered Coach K $8 million a year, which 20 years ago was more than $11.5 million now. And so I think that's what it would have taken. That's what Hurley would have wanted for the security. And Colin, look, I talked to people, once this broke, I talked to some people around the league that theorized, they were speculating, but they thought, this might be something where Hurley kind of, he's got leverage to get a bigger contract from UConn, and it looks like that's absolutely what's going to happen.
Listen, I said this earlier. Minnesota's got a rising star. Dallas has a star. Sacramento's got a star. Minnesota, Denver, forget the fact the Celtics have two young stars. You start looking around the league, and on any given night, if LeBron or AD don't play, your guy's Austin Reeves as your number one playmaker. I mean, he'll be your number one player. Right. And I look at it and I think, this is not the NFL. It's not baseball. You got a salary cap. It's not the NFL where you can trade anybody almost any time. You got to make salaries match. I think it's a long road out for the Lakers. I don't think they're right around the corner. Do you?
No. I mean, LeBron is still obviously great. AD is a great player, but that'll get you about, middle of the pack as far as playoff teams in the Western Conference. And you're right, Oklahoma City's just going to be better next year. Minnesota's going to be better. Dallas will be better next year. That's not even to mention a few other teams like New Orleans, which is coming up. So it's a tough situation, and that's why if you're Hurley, you would have wanted the security. Look, if it's J.J. Redick or James Borrego or somebody like that, if they go out in the first or second round in the next 2 years, Colin, which is very plausible, right? That might even be generous.
Yeah.
All right? It's a good chance Redick or Borrego might get fired.
Right.
Okay? But if you're Dan Hurley with his cachet, his name, his resume, and if you had that type of contract, you would survive that, and then now it's time for the rebuild, and let's develop this program. So, again, that's why I think that's the type of package it would have taken to get Hurley. And now it's going to be interesting because, there are rumblings that, Anthony Davis has a relationship with Borrego, and that would be his preference. Those are rumblings. There's talk about should they go after Jay Wright, who you talk about the next Pat Riley. He certainly looks the part. So maybe you do that in L.A., but it'll be interesting. And Redick went from the number one guy to an afterthought. Is he back to being the number one guy? It's going to be interesting how this plays out.
You know, it's really interesting. It's the Lakers are like the Cowboys. It's viewed as a great job, but if Jerry's controlling things, you have to pay Dak $58 million a year. It ain't a great job. It's a good job, right? Like the brand can't be bigger than your reality. Unlike college, in college you can recruit your back. In the transfer portal, you can recruit your way back after one class. You can get 30 guys in. Totally rebuild the roster. The Jay Wright rumor came out. We both love Jay. I talked to him recently. Very happy with broadcasting. Really into it. He's a driven guy, but he's not an obsessed guy. He's a family guy.
Yeah.
What do you make of the Jay Wright stuff? What am I supposed to make of that? You're out east. What do you hear?
Well, yeah, that's a great point. And he seems perfectly content with where he's at. And, you know, you get to stay around the game. You're respected. You're making good money, and you don't have the pressure, right? And you talk about pressure. Villanova, it wasn't the same pressure as some other programs, even though he had obviously built them into a powerhouse. The Lakers would be, you're stepping right into the pressure cooker. And I don't know. I doubt that he wants to do that. But if I'm the Lakers, I'm reaching out because I think he could be a great NBA coach and certainly has the resume that can rival Hurley's. And it'd be a good hire, but it might not be the time for him either. You know, some guys would look at this like, you know, you could look at it, Colin, like Hurley. If he comes in for another NBA job, is it going to be as good as the Lakers?
Yeah.
Right? You said it earlier, strike while the iron is hot. Your next offer could be from Charlotte or some other bad team that's so there was an argument for that, but obviously he's content in Connecticut. I throw this out too, Colin. You know, college men's basketball is not what it used to be. Right? 15 years ago, it was huge. 10 years ago, it was huge. Now it is not that big anymore. It doesn't capture the public's imagination the way it used to. I thought that also could play into Hurley going to the Lakers, but obviously he chose to stay put.
Hey, one other thought. I want to talk Celtics for a second. So Jaylen Brown won the Eastern Conference Final MVP. He could win the Final MVP. Tatum's doing a lot, but he's not shooting well. And it's sort of, there's always been this kind of soft tribal feeling on him. The people who like him love him. The people like me who like him think there are reservations. I think Jaylen's more alpha, more aggressive. You hear him talking during the timeouts. I feel like Jaylen's the leader, but I do think Tatum's more naturally gifted. But Jaylen's more the verbal guy, the aggressive guy. What do you make of his finals? Like Jason Tatum's finals. Do you think less? What do you make of what you've seen?
I respect him because he's not letting his shot, the fact that he's struggling with his shot, ruin him. A lot of big scores, Kyrie's struggling with his shot. He's not doing much else. He can't. Kyrie's not a great defender or big enough to rebound. But Tatum's rebounding, leading in assists, 8.5 a game. Obviously shooting poorly, but I love the fact that he's like, I'm not going to let my shot ruin my game. It's about the team. Let's go out and get the W. So I've gained respect for him in that regard, and I still think he's their best player. Leads them, even these players.